Dear students, welcome to the CUET Quant discussion session. So in this mock exam, you experience lots of most easiest type of questions rather than the first one. So here almost all the questions are comparatively easier than the previous one. And you experience the presence of data interpretation throughout the set. So you already notice the presence of three such set of questions here. So here the first one, it's a data interpretation question. It's a comparatively easier one. How we can solve this kind of an easier question here? First of all, you have to understand. This is, the graph shows the number of appeared candidate and passed candidate in hundreds in a test from 6 different institutions. So it's in hundreds. So from 6 different institutions. So here we have to catch what's our first question. The question should be, what is the average number in hundreds? That's an important point because there is a unit, it's given in this form, of candidates to have passed per institution. So passed number we have to consider, its average we are going to find out. So passed here, it's denoted by this red bars. Here it's 1200, 2000, 800, 2600, 1800, like that. So therefore, if you need to find the average in such a situation, how to do the operation here? So here, if you are considering this kind of an average calculation, how it will be? Here the average is nothing but directly we can reach. Average we know that is sum divided by observations. Here what is the sum? So this values, this is 12 plus 20. So this is 12, 20 plus 8 plus 26 plus 18. All divided by how many observations here? So here we have 5 such institutions. Therefore, we have to divide it by 5. Don't forget this many hundreds. Therefore, put 100 also there. Otherwise, we may misinterpret that. But in the set of options, it won't be an issue. Because if you miss that 100 at that time also, finally you can recall because the options are in this form. So then just simplify it. So while we are simplifying this one, what's the sum of these all values? Here you can directly simplify it like this, 20. And just add up together. This is 12 plus 20, 32. 32 plus 8, 40. 40 plus 26, 66. 66 plus 18, 76 plus 8, 84. So this is 84 into 20. What is 84 into 20? So that's equal to 1680. So hence the answer is option D, that is 1680. Clear? So now we can move to the next question. So in that question, only one child question asked in relation with such a data. So here directly moving to the second question. A software company has only 3 divisions that have 20, 30, 40 employees respectively. If working percentage of this during a weekend were 20%, 30%, 40% respectively, then the working percentage of the entire company during that weekend, entire company working percentage. So actually it's a basic application of weighted average. So it's an application of weighted average. So how we can apply the weighted average here? So here it is given that it has 3 divisions that have 20, 30, 40 employees. So here we are considering the ratio of employees. So ratio of employees. So that is 20, 30, 40. You just consider these 3 divisions, 20 is to 30 is to 40. So we can write it in the form of ratio 2 is to 3 is to 4. So these are 3 divisions. This ratio is called weightage. So this is called weightage. This is actually weightage. Then we are moving to the next observations like their working percentage. So therefore, working percentages. So those are not ratios. Directly we can write Those are working percentages. So it is given that those respective working percentages are 20%, 30%, then 40%. How we can apply this weighted average in this context? Here, if you need to find out the average of 20%, 30%, 40%, that's simply 20 plus 30 plus 40 divided by 3. What is 3? 3 is the number of observations. But here, the question is slightly different. Here we are going to find out what is the average of 2 times of 20, 3 times of 30, and 4 times of 40. So that is the entire or the net working percentage. Net working percentage. Net working percentage. There we are applying this weighted average. How to do it? Just multiply the values like this. 2 into 20 plus 3 into 30 plus 4 into 40 whole divided by. So this is the weighted application, weighted average application we have given. We have to divide this entire sum by the sum of weightages. What is the sum of weightages here? That is 2 plus 3 plus 4. Just simplify it, how to solve it. So while we are simplifying this one, here this is 2 into 20, that is 40, and 3 into 30, that is 90, and 4 into 40, so that's 160. So this divided by 4 plus 3 plus 2, so that's equal to 9. So we have to simplify this value, this approximate value we have to catch. So what is the sum here? This is equal to 290 by 9. So is this 290 divisible by 9? No. So we have to take an approximate value. So approximate value, how many times this 9 lies in 290? You just do the normal division here. 290 divided by 9. So here 3 times of 9, that is 27 is here, then 2 is there, therefore that is 2 times, that is 18. So therefore we can conclude this is approximately equal to 32. Look at the set of options. So which is the answer here? Here we got the answer is option D. So don't forget, this is weighted average. There are lots of application for this kind of an operation or concept. It's not a mere average. This is weightages. That means weightages in the sense the ratio of quantities. Here this quantities in the sense these are number of professionals here or the employees here. And these are percentages, working percentages. Here that is technically called observations. If that ratio is weightages, these are called observations. Observations. And we are finding the average of observations. Don't forget that. And this is the method. Each ratio of weightage into its corresponding observation. So the second quantity into corresponding observation, third quantity into corresponding observations. Like that, we have to divide that entire sum by the sum of weightages. So that's a simple trick. And this is another question from the area of algebra or the application of indices, but not a complicated one. How to do it? Here, the first one, it is given that R plus 64 by R. So it is given that R plus 64 by R. So that is equal to 16. What we have to do, we just divide throughout by R. If we divide all these expressions by R, so not divide, multiply. Multiply these all expressions by R. We can write it as, so this is this entire expression into R. So then how we can write? This is R square plus this becomes 64. And on right side, this is 16R. And now we got the idea. We can take the 16R towards left side and we can make it as a quadratic equation. So therefore, this is R square minus 16R plus 64 equal to 0. Have you got how we can factorize this quadratic? It's easy to do. As the last term is a perfect square, we can easily do it. So this is nothing but the square of 8. Therefore, this expression is R minus 8 the whole square. You have to make that sure at the middle term. So here this is minus sign. And that is 16 also. 2 into 8. That will be equal to 16. Therefore, we can factorize it like this, r minus 8, the whole square, which is equal to 0. Then what we can conclude? R equal to 8. So we got the first part. Then what we want to do, we have to substitute this value in the second part. So how we can do it? So if we put r equal to 8, we are going to find out r raised to 4 plus 1 by r cube. R raised to 4 plus 1 by r cube. So then how we can solve it? This is nothing but 8 raised to 4 plus 1 by 8 cube. Don't be worried while we are considering such a big kind of operations, because 8 raised to 4 is also such a big number. Do you know what is 8 raised to 4? 8 raised to 4, a square equal to 64. So its square, that is 64 square we have to consider. Like that we have to do. Then, in which way we have to proceed it further? In such a second position or time, you have to observe the options. In which way we have to produce it. So here nothing but this 8 raised to 4 is 4096. You will get it with the help of options. Anyway, 8 raised to 4 is not equal to 512. 8 cube equal to 512. That's why. 8 cube. So then we can write it as 1 divided by 512. So it's in the form of a mixed fraction, right? Therefore, we can combine it together. So in that form itself, we have the answer. This is 4096 and 1 by 512. Simple. Look at the options. So that's the answer. It's not a complicated one. So that's one of the easiest questions. But whenever you will get the values like this, we may be a bit confused. So how we can find out the value of 8 raised to 4? Don't be worried about that. You can depend the options in such a situation. It's not that much complicated one. Now consider it's a question from mixtures. There are 2 types of milk. The price of one type of milk is 70 per liter and the price of other type of milk is 50 per liter. If the 2 types of milks are mixed, the price of new mixture will be 55 liter. Find the ratio of 2 types of milks in this new mixture. There are lots of algebraic operations or the methods for finding the answer for such a question. But the most interesting and the most powerful and the useful quick method is alligation. Maybe you heard about alligation. Some of the previous questions we applied this concept alligation. So it's a continuation of weighted average just before we discussed. So in a weighted average, if you need to find out the ratio of weightages, you can apply this method alligation. Ratio for finding the ratio of weightage. Alligation is a tool to find the ratio of weightages in a weighted average calculation. How we can apply it? So it's a direct question of that application of alligation. How to do it? So here there are 2 types of milk. Its first price, that is rupees 70 per liter. Rupees 70. And the second type, its price is rupees 50 per liter. You have to write the values like this. So we are alligating the price of these 2 varieties of milks. So then what is the average price here? Average price means that new mixture's price, because both these varieties are mixing in a different ratio. So through that way, we will get a resultant mixture. Its cost is rupees 55 per liter. So that is rupees 55. You just write it down. The interesting point here, this 55 should lies in between 50 and 70. Look at here, this 55 is greater than 50 but less than 70. That's the basic idea of average in any kind of average. So you just think at this point, suppose this average price is rupees 60. Rupees 60. So practically think about one variety's cost is rupees 50 per liter and the other one its cost is rupees 70 per liter. So you both varieties in different quantities, in certain quantities, and its average is rupees 60. What it means? So 60 is not even the exact midpoint of 50 and 70. That means you purchase both the varieties in equal quantities. So here it's not like that, right? Here it is 55. So we are going to find out in which ratio we have to purchase or mix these 2 varieties together. There the simple trick is like this. You just write the difference in this position, like in the diagonal way of subtraction. So this is 55 minus 50. What it is? This is equal to 5. and do this operation here. This is 70 minus 55. What is the answer here? That is 15. So these are the quantities or representing values of quantities. Hence we can write these values in the form of ratio 5:15. You can write it as 1:3. Simple. So that is 1:3. Clear? So this is the application of allegation in such a question. So then we can directly move to the next question. A man completes a journey in 10 hours. He travels at a speed of 21 km per hour for the first half of the journey. What it means for the first half of the journey? Half of the journey, it means half the distance. So total distance bifurcate, then it's first half. And at a speed of 24 km per hour for the second half, calculate the total distance he traveled. So which are the data available here? So here I just give you such a diagrammatic representation of this concept. Suppose if you are considering this diagrammatic representation like, suppose this value, it will be something like yes. So this is the total distance. This is the total distance. And here we are considering its exact half. So from this first half he traveled at 21 km per hour. 21 km per hour. And the second half at 24 km per hour. What's the total distance he traveled? So he took a total of 10 hours for this entire journey. 10 hours. There are so many different ways of applications. One method, that is the average of speed into 10. So what is the average of the speed? Average of the speed means half. Therefore, you can apply 2pq divided by p plus q form. Then another method, we just consider this half distance as x, this distance as x. Clear? So I just consider the time like this, x divided by 21. What you will get? That's the time taken to cover this half distance. And the second one, again, x divided by 24. So this is 10 hours. Then we have to find the value of x. Then finally we have to find what is 2x because total distance we have to find out. Clear? So here how it will become. So if you are doing this operation, this is 24 plus 21 divided by 21 into 24 of x. So that is 10. Then how we can solve it? This is x equal to 10 into 21 into 24 divided by 21 plus 24. Understand the operation clearly? So then we are going to find out what is the total distance. So here the total distance is nothing but 2x. From here how we can find 2x? So you just simply do it. 2 into 10 into 21 into 24 divided by what it is, 21 plus 24, that is 45. 45. So just do it. So here you will get, this is, we can simplify it further. Here this is 2 times of 5, right? This is 9 times of 5. Then how we can simplify 9? Here 21 and 24, it contains 3's. Therefore this is 7 times of 3. This is 8 times of 3. Then cancel it. Just multiply it together. What will you get? 8 into 7, 56. 56 into 4, how it will become? 56, 50 into 4, 200. 6 into 4, so that is 24. So then what will get? This is equal to 224. 224. So we got the final answer, that as 224. Just understand this step. It's very important. It's very important. So this is the main step in this operation. In such a question, we can apply a direct result for finding the answer. So here 2 important points you have to consider: how to find this x, and we are going to find out 2x. These 2 are 2 very important points. So I will give you another result for reach the conclusion of such a question easily. So here we have to consider, in such a situation, which are the data available here. So it is given that the total time taken, that is 10 hours. Instead of these given numerical values, we just consider it's in the form of equations. So that is variables. This is speed 1, this is speed 2, this is t for total time, right? So then what is the total distance in such a situation? So here the total distance, we can write it directly as total distance. So that is 2 into, don't forget, normally we found that 2x. So we are applying that 2 into S1, speed 1, into speed 2, into time, total time, divided by speed 1 plus speed 2. So this is a very useful result in such a type of question. Note it down. It's a very important one. 2 into S1 into S2 into T divided by S1 plus S2. Clear? The next question, the radii of two circles are 4 cm and 7 cm and the distance between their centers is 12 cm. Find the length of the direct common tangent to the circles. Pretty interesting question. So most of the students are quite familiar with this question because this is a very usual type of question. So here we can consider two circles here, two circles. So one circle is here and another one big circle here. And here a direct common tangent. Here we have a direct common tangent. So you have to draw that common tangent also. Yeah, we just consider like this. So this is the direct common tangent. Okay, good. And it is given that this radii of these two circles are 4 cm and 7 cm. So therefore we have to join the radii of both the circles. We have to join the radii of both the circles. It may be like this, radii. And here we know that this point of contact to the center of the circle is perpendicular, right? This point of contact to the center of the circle is perpendicular. Clear? So like that we have to consider, right? Okay. Then we know that this point, this is 90 degree. This is at 90 degree. Then we have to catch what's the length of the common tangent. Length of the common tangent. Here the measures also we have to write. This is 4 cm. This is 7 cm. This total length here, this is 12 cm. So therefore, if we are drawing, so here if we are drawing this place, this line, so it will be like it's in a parallel form, parallel line to this third line. Okay, so this is the diagram representing this one. So this line is parallel to this line. Suppose for getting the idea, center of the circle is A and center of the circle is B. Correct. And this point of contacts are C and D. Suppose we are considering another one point, E is here. So here we are drawing this CE parallel to AB. CE parallel to AB. Hence we got this measure that CE that is also equal to 12 centimeter. And therefore here we just consider what is DE here? DE. That is nothing but the difference between 7 and 4 because those are two radii here. 7 minus 4, that is 3 centimeter. 7 minus 4, which is equal to 3 centimeter. Clear? So then you just observe this is a right angle triangle, right? Then we are going to find out the hypotenuse or not the base of that right triangle. So that's a simple trick here. You have to understand that right triangle. So here if you are considering that, draw that right triangle separately, it will be something like this one. Correct. So here C, D, E. Here this CE is 12, and DE is 3. Got it? So then we have to find out what is the length of this base CD. We can apply Pythagoras theorem here. Or here we can consider these results in the algebraic form also. Here this is the distance between both the centers. What is this 3? This is R1 minus R2. We just consider that's the difference between the radii. So then what is this tangent length? Suppose tangent length is T. How we can find this tangent length? We can directly apply the result. That's the application of Pythagoras theorem. So length of this tangent is nothing but d square minus R1 minus R2 the whole square. So in this question, here we have the values, this tangent's length, here d square, that is 12 square, minus R1 minus R2, that is 3 square. So this is equal to 144 minus 9. What is 144 minus 9? That's equal to 135. How we can simplify this one? 135. This root of 135. So we can factorize it something like, this is tangent, that is root of 135. You just factorize 135. 135, we just simplify it by 5. What you will get? So this is equal to 2 times of 5. This is 7. So we can split it like 3, 9. Therefore 3, 3. These are the factors. Therefore this tangent length is nothing but 5 into 3 into 3 square. So we can take this 3 outside 3 square. From this 3 square we can take 3 outside. So what rests inside this 5 into 3? 5 into 3, that's equal to 15. So this is the length of that common tangent. So you can directly apply this result for finding the answer of such a kind of question, this result. So in such a question, that kind of a common tangent, its length is nothing but the distance between the centers of both the circles, its square, minus the difference between the radii, its square. So like that we can reach the conclusion here in such type of question. So our answer is 3 root 15. So which is the answer here? 3 root 15 centimeter. Clear? So now move to the next question. If P is 11, then the value of P into P square plus 3P plus 3. It's such a tricky identity based question. So we can check how to apply this question. P is 11. So then P into P square plus 3P plus 3. So we just multiply through the entire terms here. Then this will be P cube plus 3P square plus 3P. This is nothing but P plus 1 the whole cube minus 1. What is P plus 1 the whole cube? That is P cube plus 3P square plus 3P plus 1. So therefore this is P plus 1 the whole cube minus 1. So here we have the value for P. P is equal to 11. So this is 11 plus 1 the whole cube minus 1. What is 11 plus 1? That is 12 cube. 12 cube minus 1. What is 12 cube? 1728 minus 1. What it is? 1727. So we have the value 1727. So how we applied this identity here? Just recall the identity A plus B the whole cube. A plus B. A plus B the whole cube. So that is A cube plus 3A square B plus 3AB square plus 1. This is A plus B the whole cube. Then if we are considering this one P plus 1 the whole cube, applying the same concept, what is P plus 1 the whole cube? So that is P cube plus 3A square B. Instead of 3A square B, what you can write? 3 into P square into, instead of B, that is 1. Plus 3AB square. 3 into P into 1 square. Last 1. So here this is not 1, b cube. Don't forget, that is b cube. A cube plus 3a square b plus 3ab square plus b cube. Instead of b cube, here it is 1 cube. So just observe these values. Here this is nothing but b cube plus 3p square plus 3p plus 1. So that is this part. Here 1 less from this quantity. That's why we just subtract 1 from this identity expansion. Clear? So that's a simple trick, direct application of that identity. Then move to this question. Here it's a simplification question. So while we are observing such a question, we may consider it's quite simple. It's not that much complicated. And options are supporting. Maybe you may reach some of the wrong conclusions. There is a chance to reach a wrong conclusion, even though that kind of a wrong conclusion is not in the set of options. You will become safe. Got it? So it's such a kind of question. Maybe around 40% of the students may reach a wrong conclusion of this question. Even the question is quite simple. So here we can check. We are applying the BODMAS rules here. First of all, what do you want to do? First, we have to do this multiplication. So here we can write the rest of the steps here. This is 24 minus, there is a cross bracket, minus, so there is a curly bracket. This is 4 plus minus 30. Don't forget that part. 4 plus minus 30. Then close the brackets. So this is 24 minus, this is 52 minus, this is 4 minus 30. So that 4 minus 30, that is equal to minus 26. Minus 26. Then here the important step. This is 52 minus minus 26. How it will become? This is simply 52 plus 26. So this is 24 minus. What is this value? This is equal to 78. So then final answer will become minus 54. So the answer is option B. It's a normal BODMAS type operation, not much complicated. The next question, an election between the winning candidate received 15,744 votes, which are 48% of the electorate. Only the other candidate received 22% of the electorate. What is the number of members who did not vote? So therefore, here we just consider the first candidate who received 48% votes. Second candidate who received 22% of the votes. Therefore, the number of votes didn't cast. So that we have to find out. While we are adding these two values, this is equal to 70. So what remains there? 30%. How we can connect it? It's a unitary type of approach. It is given that this winning candidate received 15,744 votes. Then we are going to find out what is the number of votes in this region. That means the number of votes didn't cast in the election. So how to do it? It's a direct unitary method. As 48 is representing 15,744, then 130 represents. So directly do the operation like this, 15,744 by 48 into 30. Correct. So you have to do the simplification here. So instead of simplifying this one, what are the other tricky approaches in this step to reach a numerical conclusion quickly? How it is possible? Because that's a very useful kind of trick. Otherwise, what will happen? We have to spend time to find the simplification of this step. Here, anyway, we know that I'm giving you such a trick of unit digit. So we just take this 0. So anyway, 0 will be there. Right? 0 won't eliminate in such a step. 0 will be there. Then rest all the operations we have to consider. So while we are multiplying these two values, 3 into 4. So its unit digit will be 2. which value we have to multiply it with 8 to get this 2. 8 into which value? 8 into which value will give you a unit digit 2? So think about it. 8 into 4 is there. 8 into 9 is there. Two possibilities. 8 into 4 is there. 8 into 9 is there. Got it? So look at the options. Is there any options which will end in 40 or 90? So look at here. 40. Got it? There is no 90. So that's a positive transformation. Here we don't want to become confused in such a situation. Here we got this is the answer. So therefore 40 is here. So that is 9840. We applied the unit digit. Either we have to catch. So I will explain that part again, once again. Here this value into 30, that will end in 0. We know that. When we divide it by 40, hopefully we are constrained. That won't affect this 0. So therefore, because all options ends in 0. That's why. So we just take that 0 separately. So you just put 0. You fix that 0 as the unit digit of your answer. You have to think about rest of the operations. Rest of the operations here, 3 into 4, its unit digit is 2. So that is 8 into something will make this 2. So that we are doing here. 8 into either 4 or 9. 8 into 4 will end in 2. 8 into 9 will end in 2. So look at the options which will end in 4. So after that 0. Or end in 9. There is only one possibility. Therefore take that as the answer. So don't worry if you are not able to digest it properly. Just do the normal simplification. So that's also not a complicated one. Because here we know that this 48 is a quite convenient kind of value. You just do the simplification properly. But this part is very important. How we have to do that stepwise operation here. We don't want to spend too much time for each and every step of operations. So you just play it with the percentage values. Then after that you can directly reach the conclusion like this way. Okay. Yeah, well, it's another one question from data interpretation. I already mentioned that point. In the set, it contains most of the easier kind of data interpretation question. So it's an observation type of question, not much complicated calculation type question. In which of the following banks did the disbursement of loan continuously decrease over the years? Continuously decrease over the years. That's it. It's an observation type of question. Look at the options. Options are these 4 banks' names. That's it. So what is the data actually? Shows the loans disbursed by the 5 banks. In cross, whatever it is, units, that's not a matter here, 82 to 86. It's a continuous decrease. We have to consider like that. Look at the first bank, A. 18, it's become 23. There is an increase. Therefore, we can eliminate it. 27, it's increased here. Eliminate it. 29, yeah, decreased to 2. 28, decreased to 2. 22, decreased to 2. 17, decreased to 2. 11, selected. Therefore, our answer is the bank C. Bank C. Hence, the answer is option A. So, it's such a kind of observation type question. So, for a practice, you can think about the rest 2 banks. Whether it shows a continuous decrease in disbursement or not. Okay, then we can move to the next question. The price of a certain laptop is discounted by 20% and reduced price is then discounted by 20%. This series of successive discounts is equivalent to a single discount of. It's a continuous discount concept, continuous successive discount concepts. So there, how we can consider, you just simply consider the initial price as 100 or that as a marked price. So there is a discount of 20%. You have to subtract 20 from here. What is 20% of 100? That's equal to 20. You just subtract. The price becomes 80. This is the price after the first discount affected. Then we are applying the second discount on this price. Second discount on this price. That is 16. Then what it will become? This becomes 64. So then you have to catch what's the net decrease occurred here. This 100 become 64. So there is a discount of 36%. That's the effective discount. So here our answer is 36%. Either you can apply this method, or there is another direct approach for this kind of a question. So that's a direct result. You can write that as a result. Two successive discounts of X% and Y% will be equal to a net discount of, so that net discount is nothing but this is X plus Y minus X into Y by 100%. So this is a useful result in such a situation. Here, instead of X and Y, both the values are same. So therefore, 20 plus 20 minus 20 into 20 by 100. Directly apply that result here. So we just numerically apply this one. This is 20 plus 20 minus 20 into 20 by 100. 20 into 20, you can write it as 20 square. So what is 20 plus 20? That is 40. Minus 20 square by 100. 20 square by 100 is 4. So the answer is 36. So you can apply this result whenever you will get two successive discounts. If it will be more than 2, you can apply this method for finding the answer. Now the next question. A man sells goods at 4% loss on cost price, but he gives 20 gram instead of 40 gram. What is his profit or loss percentage? It's a question under the area dishonest seller in profit and loss. Dishonest seller. A dishonest seller is selling goods at 4% loss on cost price. Actually, he is pretending like that. Suppose the product cost in the wholesale market that is 100 rupee, and he is pretending that he is offering 4% discount on cost price like that because he is suffering such a loss. But what he is actually doing, he is malpracticing in regards of weight. So instead of giving 40 gram, he is simply giving 20 gram. Then how to do it? So by using a chain rule method, you can apply or you can find the answer of this type of question easily. But you have to be alert while I explaining that concept. You have to understand the core concept clearly. So in such a situation, we are applying the most effective chain rule. Chain rule is nothing but a successive variation concept. What do you want to do? In such a kind of old dishonest seller question, you have to write it like this. Selling price by cost price. You have to empathetically consider. So you are the seller there. So you just visualize like that. And whatever the amount you are spending, you have to write under the bar. Or whatever the effect in terms of cost, you have to enter here. And what's the return from customer, you have to enter on the top of the bar. That's it. That's why this is your cost price, this is the selling price. Clear? The first one, you are suffering a loss of 4%. How we can write? Instead of getting 100 rupee, you are charging only 96 rupee. Instead of getting 100 rupee, you are charging only 96 rupee. Where we have to write 100 and 96. Think about it, where we have to write. So you are the seller, you are suffering that loss of 4%. Therefore, you actually required 100 rupee, but you are charging only 96 rupee. Understand the concept clearly? In such a situation only, this denominator is greater than numerator. In such a situation only, denominator is greater than numerator. Otherwise, what you want to do? You have to give the product is much more higher weight than the actual one. So instead of 20 gram, if you are giving 40 gram, then only it will become in the similar way. Here we have to consider, you actually required 100 rupee, but you are charging only 96 rupee. And the weight part we have to consider. The customer is thinking that he is getting 40 gram. He is getting 40 gram. But what actually you are giving? Only 20 gram. Clear? That's a simple logic. Finished, our work is finished. So that's very simple. If whenever we will get such kind of successive variations, you can apply these concepts effectively here. So you just further simplify it, how to do it. So I am cancelling these two values, that's it. Then after that, how we can do 96 into 2? How much it will become? That is 192. I just keep the denominator as 100 itself because 100 is a beautiful, convenient value while doing the calculations of percentage of profit or loss percentage. So what it means, this is selling price by cost price. So this 100 as cost, then selling price is 92 more than 100. That means there is a profit of 92%. Clear? So our answer is 92% profit. So just understand that chain rule effectively for finding the answer of similar type of questions. Clear? So then move to the next question. It's a time and work question. A can do a piece of work in 12 days and B can do it in 30 days. They work on alternate days starting with A. In how many days will the work be completed? Here also I will teach you the most direct approach instead of considering all the concepts. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? It's first step of operation. You have to frame a basic idea about the total quantity of work. As per that quantity of work, you can visualize or you can numberize these efficiencies of these two persons. These are the basic step of operations. On the base of that assumptions or that kind of assumed values, you can move further. So we can check how to do. So here, A can do a piece of work in 12 days. You just simply write it, 12 days. And B can do the same work in 30 days. 30 days. First step, we have to identify what is the LCM of 12 and 30. What is the LCM of 12 and 30? So instead of doing LCM of 12 and 30, instead of doing any kind of simplification for finding the LCM of 12 and 30, you can think about it by mind. 30 is not a multiple of 12, right? So its second multiple of 30, what it is? 60. Is it a multiple of 12? Sure. Therefore, you can consider 60 as LCM. So that's it, finished. So we are assuming the quantity of work, that is 60. You just write it like this. What it means, you have to visualize it properly. We have two workers A and B, and we are assigning them for the completion of 60 units of work. For getting a clarity about that assumption, you are giving them a task to bind 60 notebooks. For binding 60 books, the labor A required 12 days. So that means how many books he can bind per day? So you just simply divide the 60 by 12. So that means 5 books per day, or this means 5 units per day. So this is the efficiency. Similarly, the second person, this is 2 units per day. Units per day. Hope you got it clearly. If they are working together, then how many books they can bind per day? 7 units per day. 7 units per day. So this is the first step of assumption. Then we are considering the situation like that. In how many days they can complete the work if they are planning to work on alternate days and start with A. You just visualize it. First day A, second day B, A, B, A, B, A, B. In each 2 days, 7 units of work will become completed. After how many days the 60 books will become binded properly? So that's the thing we are going to find out. I will teach you there is a trick to reach that count easily. What do you want to do? You just divide the 60 by 7. What is this 7? 7 is the combined efficiency. 7. So this is 8 times. So that is 56. So what's the remainder there? 4. What it means? Here 8 rounds of 2 days completed. So 8 rounds of 2 days completed, they finished 56 units of work. Clear? Therefore, how to do it? Total number of days. Total number of days. That is 2 into that 8. So in 16 days, they completed 56 units of work. Who will be on the next day to finish this balance 4 books? Who's going to work there? So there, that's the chance of A. Because A, B, it's finished in 16 days. Who ends there the work at the day, 16th day? B. Then immediately next day, A is going to work. What is the efficiency of A? Efficiency of A, 5 units per day. So therefore, just divide this 4 by 5. 4 by 5. So this is a step of operation. Understand this point? This is 2 into this quotient plus this additional or the remainder divided by the efficiency of the first person. Clear? So we can write it as 16 and 4 by 5. Look at the options. 16 and 4 by 5. Our answers are in this form. So therefore, the answer is option A. Understand? That's the most easiest approach towards this alternate days work. Okay. Then the next question. It's a question from trains. Trains with the relative speed. 2 trains is 200 meter long are moving in opposite directions. They cross each other in 10 seconds. The speed of one train is 90 km per hour. Find the speed of the other train. So understand the trick here. If 2 trains are in opposite direction, crossing each other, what is the total distance covered in such an activity? Total distance in such an activity is nothing but the sum of length of the trains. So here 2 trains, 200 each. Therefore, the total distance is 400 meter. So that means the total distance covered under this activity is 400 meter. That's the concept here. So this is the total distance. What's the total time here for covering or crossing like this? The total time is 10 seconds. So here, total time taken for crossing each other, that is 10 seconds. Just notice that those units. Here distance in meter and time in seconds. So those are matching. Therefore, what should be the units of a speed? So as per the simplification of these 2 values, we will get the speed in meters per second. But our answer is in kilometer per hour and one of the speed also in kilometer per hour. Don't forget that we have to convert it further. So here we just consider the relative speed. So relative speed. How we can assume the relative speed? That is nothing but speed 1 plus speed 2. Speed 1 plus speed 2. So here we have one speed. Speed 1 is there. Keep it like this. Then finally we can substitute that 90. So this is speed 1 plus speed 2. So then what is this speed 1 plus speed 2? Speed 1 plus speed 2. Why it's plus? Because both are in opposite direction. If 2 moving bodies are in opposite direction, relative speed is nothing but the sum of their individual speeds. Instead, if 2 moving bodies are in the same direction, relative speed is nothing but the difference between their individual speeds. So how to find speed? What is the basic result to find speed? Speed is nothing but distance by time. So whenever we are thinking about relative speed, that's also the same situation. That is distance. In this context, distance is 400 meter and time is 10 seconds. So how we can write? This is 40 meters per second. How we can convert meters per second into kilometer per hour? So 40 meters per second, we can convert it like this, 40 into 18 by 5. That's a conversion factor. 40 into 18 by 5. This much kilometer per hour. Got it? So we can simplify it like this. This is 5 into 8. What is 8 into 18? You can do it by mind. 10 times of 8, that is 80. 8 times of 8, 64. 80 plus 64, that is 144. That is 144 kilometer per hour. It is given that one of the speed is 90. Then what is the another speed? Correct. Therefore, speed of the other train. One speed it's already given 90. Speed of other train. So you can directly subtract the 90 from this 144. That's the sum of both the speeds. Therefore, this is 144 minus 90. For doing this subtraction, we convert it in the form of kilometer per hour. Otherwise, we just consider we got it directly as meters per second. So what it is, 144 minus 90. So that's equal to 54. So 54 kilometer per hour is the answer. So therefore 54 kilometer per hour. So that's the concept of relative speed. And whenever the things or moving bodies are in opposite direction, relative speed is always the sum of their individual speeds. Here, what are the points you have to keep it in your mind? The first point, what is the total distance? In such a situation, crossing two trains, total distance is the sum of the individual length. In this question, it is given that both the trains have the equal length. That's not an important factor here or the matter here. That's an irrelevant thing. Only we need the total sum of both the length, both the trains. And the second thing here, what is the relative speed? If two moving bodies are in opposite direction, sum of their individual speeds. And third thing that is the unit conversion. Understand, if the distance in meters and time in seconds, we will get the speed in meters per second. We have to convert it into kilometer per hour through the multiplication by this constant 18 by 5. So these are the main 3 points we have to keep it in your mind in such a question. So this is another question. It's from variation, a tricky one. The distance traveled by a person varies directly with the duration of the journey. If the person traveled 378 kilometer in 7 hours, 378 kilometer in 7 hours. In how many hours will the person cover 918 kilometer? So this we have to find. So that's a simple unitary type of approach. So for covering this 378 kilometer, he needs 7 hours. The same person, how long he will take to cover 918 kilometer? That's it. That's a very simple one. How to do it? If these two quantities are in direct variation, these are in direct variations. So it's a case of direct variation. What is the speciality of direct variation? In such direct variation, cross products are equal. Product of these two values equal to product of these values. So this is the basic idea. Suppose this is x. This is x. Then how to perform the operation here? This is 378x is equal to 918 into 7. So then what is x here? This is 918 into 7 by 378. How to do it? How to do it? So it will take time. Do you have any tricky concept in your mind? Yeah, like our previous such situation. Here also you can depend unit digit. So what is the unit digit here? So here unit digit. Here we are thinking about the unit digit of this product. Unit digit of this product is 6. Here the unit digit is 8. Got it? Think about what is the unit digit of this operation. So for which value we have to multiply with 8 to get the unit digit as 6. Either it is 2 or 7. 2 or 7. So look at the options. Is there any value ends in 2? No. So conveniently there is one value ends in 7. Therefore, that's the answer. So that's a trick behind such a question. So we can do the operations like this. Clear? So you just write, after doing this one, you think about how to simplify it. Whenever we will become such a trap, that means whenever the question is asking about the approximate value, suppose it's not completely divisible, at that time we may be in a trap. So there we have to do the simplification like this. If you are doing the usual operations, we know that this is equal to a multiple of 7 and just divide 918 by that quotient. Like that you can proceed it further. So it's a simple application of unit digit in such a situation. So look at the next question. Sum of 16,875 when invested at % interest per year compounded annually amounts to 19,683 after 2 years. What is the value of R? So usually we know that the compound interest type of applications there, we know that the amount is equal to, right? So what is the result when we are considering amount is equal to P into 1 plus R by 100 the whole raised to N. So it's a case of 2 years. Therefore, if we are substituting the values here, so this is 16,875 into 1 plus R by 100. We are going to find out the R, what it is, the whole square, because 2 years. So here the sum become 19,683. From this step, we have to catch what is the value of R. Is it an easy thing? Not that much. Even though when we proceed it further, you will get it. Got it? So like that, that's a simple type of approach. I'll teach you another one method for finding the answer of such a situation. You can simplify it further, the same logic, but instead of writing the results like this, and whenever you will get such kind of compound interest questions, you can directly apply this method. What do you want to do? You just simply write the amounts in a ratio. So amounts in a ratio in the sense, so this first one, 16,875. It becomes 19,683. It's like that. This is the first step. What is the second step? You have to simplify both the values in the possible way. Means in which way we have to simplify it further. Like that you have to simplify it. How to simplify it? First of all, you have to think about whether there are any common factors for both these values. So look at the values here. So when we considering these two values, so this is a multiple of 9, this is a multiple of 5, right? What about this one? Is it a multiple of 9? Well, yeah, that's also a multiple of 9. So we are simplifying it by 9. So I just do the simplification like here. This is 16875 and this one 19683. Simplification. So these two values are divisible by 9. So we are dividing it by 9. So 1 time of 9, that is 9 is there. Remainder 7 is there, 78. 8 times 72 is there, 67. 7 times 63 is there, 45, then 5. Divide the second value by 9. So this is 2 times of 9, 18. 16 is there, 1. 78, 72 is there, 63, 7 is there. Look at these values. Is it divisible by 9 or 3, whatever it is, if we are considering this one. So this is divisible by 3. So we can divide both these values by 3. So this is 3, 6 is there, and 25, 625. What about this one? This is 729. Further division is not possible. So we can simplify these values like this instead of this one. It's simply 625 becomes 729. And look at here, this is in 2 years. If it is a case of 2 years, you just think about these two values. Can we express these values in the form of squares of two quantities? Squares of, if it is 2 years, then think about the conversion in the form of squares. If it is 3 years, think about the conversion in the form of cubes. So you just write, we know that this is 25 square. What it is, this is 27 square. So 25 square becomes 27 square. So this is the variation occurred in 2 years. So this is the variation in 2 years. So that's the simple logic. 2 years. This is the variation in 2 years. Therefore, what could be the variation in 1 year? Variation in 1 year. 1 year, more clearly we can write in each year. Each year. You just simply write the square root of these values. That is 25 becomes 27. Here we have to catch it like this. When we invest rupees 25, it becomes 27 after 1 year. Similarly, that values 2 by 25 will increase. Like that. It's continuous successive process. Therefore, here we have to catch what is the variation here. So here it's an increment of 2, right? Increment of 2. 2 out of 25. So here our rate is nothing but 2 out of 25 into 100%. What it is, after simplifying this one, we'll get this is equal to 8%. So here the answer is 8. So understand. So this is the method. So recall the steps. First of all, you have to write the principal and amount like this. And just simplify it. It's possible way of the most simplified version you have to write. A focus you have to make it express it in the form of squares. So prejudicially you can consider like that, which square lies in this value. So that will help you for this kind of a simplification. Anyway, that step is difficult whenever we are proceeding the operation like this. At that time also you will face the same step of operation. Got it? So then the same operation we are doing here, but we are reducing the steps, or we are reducing the algebraic type of operation. That's it. So here, we are expressing these values in the form 25 square, 27 square. And what happened here? This is 25 become 27. So what's the increased value here? There it's 2 increased here. Then what is rate? This is 2 by 25 into 100. So that's equal to 8%. So keep this method in your mind. Whenever you will get similar type of question, you can apply it. The next question, it's from geometry. The lengths of 3 sides of a triangle 3, 4, 5 centimeter respectively. Find the area of this triangle. How do you find it? If you have 3 sides of a triangle, do you have the methods? Yeah, there is a method for finding the area of a triangle with the help of if the 3 sides are available. That is Heron's formula. That is the root of s into s minus a into s minus b into s minus c. But whenever we will get similar kind of question in your exam, you just observe the speciality of such a value 3, 4, 5. What is the speciality here? This is 3 square plus 4 square is equal to 5 square. So just recall, this is a Pythagorean triple. Got it? Pythagorean triple. So these types of numbers are called Pythagorean triples. Therefore, what's the inference here? Which type of triangle it is? So therefore, the given triangle is a right-angled triangle. Right-angled triangle. Got it? If the given triangle is a right-angled triangle, how to visualize it? So you just visualize it like this. Suppose this is a right-angled triangle. So this is base. This is 3, 4. This hypotenuse is 5. So how to find the area of a triangle? If you are sure it's a right-angled triangle, this is base. This is height. Area is equal to base into height. So therefore, area is equal to half of base into height. Not simply base into height. This is half of base into height. Here we have the values, this 3 into, instead of height, that is 4. So this is equal to 6. So what's the units here? Centimeter. Therefore, centimeter square. So this is 6 centimeter square. So that's the direct application of the result, half BH. Here we identified that it's a right angle triangle. Okay, then move to the next question. What is the least positive value of A in the number 3, 4, 2, 7, 8, 8, 2, 5, 9, 7, which is divisible by 9? So rewrite the number here. 3, 4, 2, 7, 8, A. 2597. 97. So which is divisible by 9. If a number is divisible by 9, what's the requirement? If this number is divisible by 9, the requirement is nothing but sum of the digits should be divisible by 9. If the number is divisible by 9, then the sum of the digits also divisible by 9. Got it? You just add it together. So simply consider the sum of the digits. 3 plus 4, 7. 7 plus 2, 9. 9 plus 7, 16. Plus 8, 24. Plus 2, 26. Plus 5, 31. Plus 9, 40. Plus 7, 47. So this is sum of digits. So we got that is 47 plus A. If we want to make it as a multiple of 9, what should be the value of A? So which will be the immediately next multiple of 9 here? Right? Immediately next multiple of 9 in such a situation. How to do it? So whenever we are thinking about the next multiple of 9, that is nothing but 54. 54. So that is 54. So that's immediately next multiple of 9. Therefore, what could be the value of A? A is equal to 7. The least such value of A equal to 7. So here we can consider one more interesting 9 factor filling method. How it is? So while we are observing this set of values, whenever if you are considering the formation of 9s here, it's easy to do. So how it will become? Like this one. Here, if you are observing this one, the 7 plus 2, this is 19. This is 19. And we can cancel it. Here 19 directly available. This 2 plus 7, that's another 19. Here 1, so this is 2 plus 7. And here is 5 plus 4, that's another 19. Clear? So rest, which are the values available here? Here 3 and 8. So these are the remaining values. So therefore we can write it as 3 plus 8, 11. 11 plus A. Think about it. If you need to make it as a multiple of 9, what could be the value of A? So here the immediately next multiple of 9 is 18. Therefore A is equal to 7. Like this way also we can catch it. Clear? So that's a 9 filling method. So we just observe the presence of 9 in each step, or how or which combinations will give such a 9 as the total sum. So that's another one method here. So look at here, this is another one data interpretation. In which country did the player score the maximum number of runs in aggregate during these 4 years taken together? Is it a difficult one? So look at the data, what it is given. Here we have 4 countries. And the table shows the number of runs scored by a cricket player in different countries in different years. So here, while we are observing this set of data, by observation itself, you can easily catch which will be the value. How to do it? You don't want to do the refer here. So look at the observations here, which will be the highest in this set of values. Here, if you are considering the values, so this is 30, 25, 25, 52. While we are observing the set of rest of the values, this is comparatively lesser, right? So these two things we can neglect easily. Here only this 52 is a higher value there, but rest of the values are comparatively lesser. So here we know that directly you have to add up all the values here, then compare it. That's a direct way. Instead of doing like that, we just observing it. So without doing that such a kind of calculation, how we can reach the conclusion easily? Good. That's the trick we are considering. Then look at these two values. These two values. While we are comparing these two values, which will be the greatest one? While we are comparing, 50 is here, 50 is here. Good. 38 is here, 38 is here. Rest two observations are 40 and 45, here 50 and 62. Therefore, this should be greater, this is not. Got it? It's such a trick there we have to consider or just observe the values and reach the conclusion instead of doing simple additions. Here, what is the usual method? You have to add up together, add up together, add up together, add up together. And look at which will be the largest value. Here we got in country D, he scored more. So therefore the answer is option D. So don't forget, that's an observation kind of question. Move further. A shopkeeper offers 25% discount on all table lamps. He offers a further discount of 8% on the reduced price to those customers who pay cash. What does a customer have to pay in cash for a table lamp of 2,500? It's also a kind of chain rule approach. So how to do the chain rule approach here? Chain rule is nothing but that successive variation. Chain rule. Here the price of, here we have to consider what should be the customer have to pay. So therefore here the selling price. Selling price in the sense, never confused here. At which price this sales done? So that's only selling price. Got it? So here selling price we just consider. This is the marked price actually. So that discounts affected on this price, 2,500. Here what's the discount offered here? 25% discount. 25%, that is nothing but 1 by 4. 25% is 1 by 4. When we deduct 1 by 4 from a sum, it will become 3 by 4. That's a simple logic. So therefore, it reduced to 3 by 4. On this reduced price, a further discount of 8%. A discount of 8%. How we can write it is? This is 92 out of 100. Why? There is an 8% discount. So that's a simple step. Then you can do it further. So how to do it? Here we can simplify these two values. Then 4 we can cancel here. So how it is? 2 times of 4, 8 is there. Then 12, that is 3 times. Just multiply it further. This is equal to 25 into 90, 69. 25 into 69. Just multiply it further. Like that, we can do the conclusion. How it is 69 into 25. There you have to understand that simplification. Whenever we have to multiply a value by 25, so there is a trick. 69 into 25, you can convert the operation 69 into 100 by 4. So just understand that how we converted that multiplication by 25 in the form of 100 by 4. So it's easy to divide the 69 by 4. 69 by 4. So therefore, you just do it. Or otherwise, you have to do it like this, 6,900 by 4. So what it is, here we know that 1 time of 4 is there. 29 is there. So that is 7 times of 4, 28 is there. 100 is there, that is 25. So the answer is rupees 1725. Or you just do the direct multiplication here, that's it. But this step is important. Instead of considering the step-by-step that subtraction or deduction, you can take it in a single step. Like that also we can proceed. So there is another one very interesting conclusion. Such a question, instead of doing this entire steps, you just observe it. This is a multiple of 25, right? It's a multiple of 25. It's a multiple of 25. So in which way the multiple of 25 will end? So multiple of 25 will end in either 0, 0, 2, 5, 5, 0 or 7, 5. Look at the options. Which is a convenient figure in the set of options? There is only one possibility, 25. So you don't want to spend too much time for this further step of calculations. Like that, a numerical tricky observation style also you have to develop. So like that, we can catch the answer without help of furthermore step of calculations. So consider this question. A rectangular water tank is 1.5 meter high, 3 meter long, 3.5 meter wide. How much water in liters can it hold? So rectangular water tank is nothing but in the form of a cuboid. What is the volume of such a cuboid? That is length into breadth into height. Here length is 1.5 or height is 1.5, 3 meter long is there, 3 meter long and 3.5 meter wide. Just multiply it together. This many meter cube, don't forget, this many meter cube. While we are multiplying this one, how to do the multiplications here? So just do it. 15 into 3, that is 45. 45 into 35, you have to do it. 45 into 35. 45 into 35. So how to do this one? So there the simplifications will be like, this is 5 into 5, 25 is there. 15 plus 2, 7, 37 is there. 3 is there. So therefore that's equal to 12 plus 3, 15. So this is 1575. Or put the decimal values here, this is 15.75 meter cube. 15.75 meter cube. If you want to convert it into liters, so our question is liters. Actually, you don't have to worry about at that point because look at the options, you can easily catch which will be the answer. So if you want to convert into liters, just multiply this value by 1000. This many. So therefore 1000 meter cube equal to 1 liter. So therefore we can write it as 15750 liter. This many liters is the answer. Then the next question, the group leader of a group of 6 students reported that their average weight is 46 kilogram. When the member of the group were asked about their individual weights, 5 of them answered as 50 kilogram, 52 kilogram, 40 kilogram, 44 kilogram, 48 kilogram. These are the 5 weights. And the 6th person's weight, we don't know. We are going to find out the weight of the 6 persons. But it is given that their net average is 46 kilogram. This many values divided by 6 is equal to 46. That's a simple step. You have to catch what is the value of 6 here. You have to do the operations here. So while we are adding these all values, 50 plus 52, that's equal to 102 is there, 142 is there, 142 plus 48 you can add up together. That's equal to 190, 190 plus 44, 234. So this is 234 plus x is equal to, what is 46 into 6? 46 into 6. 6 into 6, 36 is there. 24 plus 3, 27. So therefore, what is the value of x? This is 276 minus 34. That's equal to 32. Or that step also we have to write, here, that is 42. 276 minus 234. What is the value here? That is 42. Therefore, the answer is 42 kilogram. So this is a simple step of average operation. This is a very simple type of average operation. Move to the next question. What will be the smallest natural number to be filled in the blank for the number 2, 3. Instead of that blank, I am writing that as x. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is divisible by 22. You just understand this 22 is nothing but 2 into 11. As we know, its unit digit is 8. Therefore, it's divisible by 2. It should be divisible by 11. How to check the divisibility of 11? That's just consider the sum of alternate place digits. Sum of alternate place digits will be like this. 8 plus 6, 14. 14 plus 4, 18. 18 plus 3, 21. So this is 21. And the next group, 2 plus x plus 5, 7 plus 14. This is 14 plus x. So what is the requirement? Either these two sums are equal or the difference between these two sums should be a multiple of 11. In this case, we can directly take these two sums are equal. That's only the possibility here. If the given number is a multiple of 11, these two sums should be equal. That means 21 is equal to 14 plus x or 14 plus x equal to 21. That's one possibility. Therefore, what is the value of x? X we can directly write that's equal to 7. Got it? So that's a simple logic. What's the other possibilities? These two sums are there. The difference between these two sums should be a multiple of 11. That's another one possibilities. So these are the two sums. If you are considering the sums like this one, this is the first sum and this is the second sum. It's general condition. So this first term sum difference second sum. So the difference means which will be the largest value. You have to keep that as S1 and S2 as the smallest one. So this should be a multiple of 11. That means 0, 11, 22, etc. Actually divisible by 11. That's the most clear conclusion. So that is the condition for the divisibility of 11. If the sum of two numbers is 25 and the product is 144, then what is the position difference between the two numbers? Position difference is nothing but you don't be confused about that. It's only difference. So it is given that sum of two numbers, a plus b, that is 25. And the product, so that is 144. So we have to find a minus b. We have to find a minus b. That's it. That's it. Simple. You can start it from the options also. Like that also we can consider. That is a very simple trick that you can consider. That's a tricky logical thing instead of considering the actual method. Here a plus b is odd. A plus b is odd. Then what about a minus b? Is it odd or even? As a plus b is odd, a minus b is also odd. Look at the options. Either b or d. So you can verify any one among them. Like that we can reach the conclusion. That's the tricky approach here. That's a tricky approach. But what is the expected approach? It's not mandatory that you have to follow the expected approach. Only for teaching you what is the expected approach here in this question. So this is the identity application. What is a minus b the whole square? How we can write a minus b the whole square? This a minus b the whole square is nothing but a plus b the whole square minus 4ab. A minus b the whole square equal to a plus b the whole square minus 4ab. So therefore, a minus b the whole square, we have a plus b. So that is 25. A plus b the whole square, 25 square, minus 4ab. ab here, 144. What is 25 square? That is 625 and 4 times of 144. That is 4 into 4, 16 is there. 16 plus 1, 17 is there. 4 plus 1, 5 is there. Just simplify it. So what we will get? This is 9, 49 is there. 49. Therefore, as a minus b the whole square equal to 49, therefore, what is a minus b? That is root of this value. So which is equal to 7. So that is the answer. So this is the identity-wise application. It's also an easier one. Like the previous logic which I started. Here, this is odd. Difference is also odd. There are two possibilities, 7 or 9. You have to verify those two values. So like that also you can proceed it. And there's a final question. A can do a piece of work in 24 days. B can do it in 80 days. B works alone for 2 days. And A works alone on the 3rd day. This process continues till the work is completed. In how many days will the work be completed? Now you already experienced one of the alternate days work. I just taught you that which way you can reach the conclusion instantly. This is almost similar situation, but slightly different in the sense it's a 3 days turn. 2 days first person and 3rd day the second person. Or 2 days second person, 3rd day the first person, like that. So you just try to find the answer of this question. Just pause the video right now and try to solve it. What is the first step? You have to make that illustration, the form of assumption of total work and their efficiency. So first what do you want to do? You just write it like this. A required 24 days. And what B required? 80 days. 80 days. So what is the LCM of 24 and 80? That's the next step. 24 and 80, how to do it? Is 80 is a multiple of 24? No. 160 is a multiple of 24. What is 160? That's a second multiple of 80. It's not a multiple of 24. But third multiple of 80, that is 240. It's a multiple of 24. Therefore, you can assume that work as 240 units. Don't forget, that's the LCM of 24 and 80. In any way, you have to catch the LCM. Which method I convert here? So you have to follow the largest figure, that is 80. First, you just think about whether this 80 is divisible by 24. No, it's not divisible by 24. And second, you just think about the second multiple of 80. Second multiple of 80, that's 160. It's again not a multiple of 24. Think about the third multiple of 80, that is 24. Yeah, that is 240, that is equal to, that's a multiple of 24. Or more clearly, you can catch, in this 24, it made up of 3 and 8. So that factor 80 lies in 80, but 3 is not there. You just give additional one 3. So therefore 3 into 80, that will be equal to 240. That's the LCM method. Anyway, this is 240 units. 240 units. For completing this 240 units of work, A required 24 days. Therefore, A's per day work is 1 unit. 1 units per day. That's the efficiency of A. And B's efficiency is 3 units per day. Got it? 3 units per day. So whenever they are working together, that is 13 units per day. 13 units per day. So don't forget, it's the quantity of work completed in 3 days. So in 3 days, they can complete 13 units of work. Therefore, what's the easy way to catch the total number of days required? So you just simply divide this 240 by this 30. So like that we have to consider. So then when we divide this 240 by 13, how it will become? Like that we have to consider. So whenever we are simplifying this one time of 13 is there. So 13 is there. So then what will be the next step? So this is equal to 110. How many 13s lies in 110 here? So 110 here. So here one more important point. So whenever we are thinking about this step of operation, here a slight difference in this calculation. What is the slight difference in such a calculation here? So here, this is 3 units of work. You just consider in 3 days, how it worked to B for 2 days and A for the 3rd day. That's a very important point. So here, whenever we are thinking about this one in 3 days, how much work completed here? 2 times of B is working, 2 times of B is working, then A is working. Like that we have to catch. So that is nothing but 2 times of 3 plus 10. So what it is? This is equal to 16. So in 3 days, 16 units of work will become completed. Otherwise, you just write it like this. First day 3, second day 3, because B started the work. After 2 days, then A will join. 3 plus 3 plus 10, 3 plus 3 plus 10. So after how many steps? We can complete 240. That's a simple trick. So therefore, you have to divide the total quantity of work by this combined efficiency, or the quantity of work done in 3 days. So it will be like this, 240 divided by 16. Divided by 16. So here, this is 16 is here. And 80 will be there. That is 5. 5 times of 60. So that's equal to 80. It's finished. So there is not a remainder step of operation. Therefore, what we can conclude? Therefore, total number of days is, so here in each such 3 days, they can finish 16 units. Such 15 repetitions will be there. Therefore, this is 15 into 3 days. What is 15 into 3? So that is equal to 45 days. It's such a tricky question. If you got the answer directly by your own work, so you are awesome, because you got the idea properly. Here the very interesting and important trick lies over here. So what's the quantity of work done in 3 days? That's a very important trick. So these are the set of questions in this mock. Hope you got a clarity about the questions and its different approaching styles. And most of the questions are not much complicated. And some of the time and work questions, only we have to apply some additional tricks. So rest of the things are quite familiar. So day by day, through the test, you will get a strong foundation of this aptitude kind of approaches. Our approach is very important rather than the knowledge base. So how to approach, how to apply the knowledge properly while attending an aptitude kind of question, it's a very important thing. And the strategies, it's very important. Rather than considering the mathematical question, you have to consider the most easiest and tricky type of approaching steps. So sometimes you can guess the answer from the options. Sometimes you can apply some of the instant direct results. So like that, you can develop an approaching style towards this kind of aptitude questions. So right now, we can wind up. We can discuss further questions in our next session. Thank you.